Action research is either research initiated to solve an immediate problem or a reflective process of progressive problem-solving led by individuals working with others in teams or as part of a community of practice to improve the way they address issues and solve problems. There are two types of action research: participatory action research and practical action research. Denscombe writes that in action research strategies' purpose is to solve a particular problem and to produce guidelines for best practice. Action research involves actively participating in a change situation, often via an existing organization, whilst simultaneously conducting research. Action research can also be undertaken by larger organizations or institutions, assisted or guided by professional researchers, with the aim of improving their strategies, practices and knowledge of the environments within which they practice. As designers and stakeholders, researchers work with others to propose a new course of action to help their community improve its work practices. Kurt Lewin, then a professor at MIT, first coined the term OE action research in 1944. In his 1946 paper OE Action Research and Minority Problems he described action research as a comparative research on the conditions and effects of various forms of social action and research leading to social action that uses a spiral of steps, each of which is composed of a circle of planning, action and fact-finding about the result of the action Overview: Action research is an interactive inquiry process that balances problem-solving actions implemented in a collaborative context with data-driven collaborative analysis or research to understand underlying causes enabling future predictions about personal and organizational change. After 6 decades of action research development, many methods have evolved that adjust the balance to focus more on the actions taken or more on the research that results from the reflective understanding of the actions. This tension exists between those who are more driven by the research area unregistered trademark agenda and those more driven by participants. Those who are motivated primarily by instrumental goal attainment and those motivated primarily by the aim of personal, organizational or societal transformation. And, first, to second, to third-person research, that is, my research on my own action, aimed primarily at personal change. Our research on our group, aimed primarily at improving the group. And scholarly unregistered trademark research aimed primarily at theoretical generalization or large-scale change. Action research challenges traditional social science by moving beyond reflective knowledge created by outside expert sampling variables, to an active moment-to-moment theorizing, data collecting and inquiry occurring in the midst of emergent structure. OE knowledge is always gained through action and for action. From this starting point, to question the validity of social knowledge is to question, not how to develop a reflective science about action, but how to develop genuinely well-informed action how to conduct an action science In this sense, performing action research is the same as performing an experiment, thus it is an empirical process. Major theories: Chris Argyri Action Science. Chris Argyri Action Science begins with the study of how human beings design their actions in difficult situations. Humans design their actions to achieve intended consequences and are governed by a set of environment variables. How those governing variables are treated in designing actions are the key differences between single-loop learning and double-loop learning. When actions are designed to achieve the intended consequences and to suppress conflict about the governing variables, a single-loop learning cycle usually ensues. On the other hand, when actions are taken, not only to achieve the intended consequences, but also to openly inquire about conflict and to possibly transform the governing variables, both single-loop and double-loop learning cycles usually ensue. This is different from experimental research in which environmental variables are controlled and researchers try to find out cause and effect in an isolated environment. John Heron and Peter Riesen's cooperative inquiry. Cooperative inquiry, also known as collaborative inquiry, was first proposed by John Heron in 1971 and later expanded with Peter Riesen and Demi Brown. The major idea of cooperative inquiry is to or research with a unregistered trademark rather than a own a unregistered trademark people it emphasizes that all active participants are fully involved in research decisions as co-researchers. Cooperative inquiry creates a research cycle among 4 different types of knowledge: propositional knowing, practical knowing, experiential knowing and presentational knowing. The research process includes these 4 stages at each cycle with deepening experience and knowledge of the initial proposition, or of new propositions, at every cycle. Paulo Freire as participatory action research. Participatory action research has emerged in recent years as a significant methodology for intervention, development and change within communities and groups. It is now promoted and implemented by many international development agencies and university programs, as well as countless local community organizations around the world. PAR builds on the critical pedagogy put forward by Paulo Freire as a response to the traditional formal models of education where the a teacher stands at the front and imparts information to the students who are passive recipients. This was further developed in adult education models throughout Latin America. Orlando Falsborda, Colombian sociologist and political activist, was one of principal promoters of participatory action research in Latin America. Published Double History of the Coast, book that compare the official history, and the non-official story of the North Coast of Colombia. William Torbetta Unregistered Trademark S Developmental Action Inquiry. The Developmental Action Inquiry is a way of simultaneously conducting action and inquiry as a disciplined leadership practice that increases the wider effectiveness of our actions. Such action helps individuals, teams, organizations become more capable of self-transformation and thus more creative, more aware, more just and more sustainable. Action inquiry challenges our attention to span 4 different territories of experience in the midst of actions. This practice promotes timeliness learning with moment-to-moment intentional awareness among individuals and with regard to the outside world of nature and human institutions. It studies the a pre-constituted internalized and externalized universe in the present, both as it resonates with and departs from the past and as it resonates with and potentiates the future. William Barry's Living Educational Theory Approach to Action Research. Dr. William Barry defined an approach to action research which focuses on creating ontological weight. He adapted the idea of ontological weight to action research from existential Christian philosopher Gabriel Marcel, 1963. Professor Barry was influenced by Gene McNiff's and Jack Whitehead's phraseology of living theory action research but was diametrically opposed to the validation process advocated by Whitehead, which demanded video evidence of energy flowing values, and Whitehead's atheistic ontological position which influenced his conception of values in action research. Professor Barry explained that living educational theory is a critical and transformational approach to action research. It confronts the researcher to challenge the status quo of their educational practice and to answer the question, how can I improve that I'm doing? Researchers who use this approach must be willing to recognize and assume responsibility for being a living contradictions in their professional practice thinking one way and acting in another. The mission of the LET action researcher is to overcome workplace norms and self-behavior which contradict the researcher's values and beliefs. The vision of the LET researcher is to make an original contribution to knowledge through generating an educational theory proven to improve the learning of people within a social learning space. The standard of judgment for theory validity is evidence of workplace reform, transformational growth of the researcher, and improved learning by the people researcher claimed to have influenced. Action research in organization development. Wendell L. French and Cecil Bell define organization development at one point as organization improvement through action research. If one idea can be said to summarize OD's underlying philosophy, it would be action research as it was conceptualized by Kurt Lewin and later elaborated and expanded on by other behavioral scientists. Concerned with social change and, more particularly, with effective, permanent social change, Lewin believed that the motivation to change was strongly related to action. If people are active in decisions affecting them, they are more likely to adopt new ways. Rational social management, he said, proceeds in a spiral of steps, each of which is composed of a circle of planning, action and fact-finding about the result of action. Unfreezing. Faced with a dilemma or disconfirmation, the individual or group becomes aware of a need to change. Channing. The situation is diagnosed and new models of behavior are explored and tested. Refreezing, application of new behavior is evaluated, and if reinforcing, adopted. Lewin's description of the process of change involves 3 steps. Figure 1 summarizes the steps and processes involved in planned change through action research. Action research is depicted as a cyclical process of change. The cycle begins with a series of planning actions initiated by the client and the change agent working together. The principal elements of this stage include a preliminary diagnosis, data gathering, feedback of results, and joint action planning. In the language of systems theory, this is the input phase, in which the client system becomes aware of problems as yet unidentified, realizes it may need outside help to effect changes, and shares with the consultant the process of problem diagnosis. The second stage of action research is the action, or transformation, phase. This stage includes actions relating to learning processes and to planning and executing behavioral changes in the client organization. As shown in Figure 1, feedback at this stage would move via feedback loop A and would have the effect of altering previous planning to bring the learning activities of the client system into better alignment with change objectives. Included in this stage is action planning activity carried out jointly by the consultant and members of the client system. Following the workshop or learning sessions, these action steps are carried out on the job as part of the transformation stage. The third stage of action research is the output or results phase. This stage includes actual changes in behavior resulting from corrective action steps taken following the second stage. Data are again gathered from the client system so that progress can be determined and necessary adjustments in learning activities can be made. Minor adjustments of this nature can be made in learning activities via feedback loop B. Major adjustments and re-evaluations would return the OD project to the first or planning stage for basic changes in the program. The action research model shown in Figure 1 closely follows Lewin's repetitive cycle of planning, action, and measuring results. It also illustrates other aspects of Lewin's general model of change. As indicated in the diagram, the planning stage is at period of unfreezing, or problem awareness. The action stage is at period of changing, that is, trying out new forms of behavior in an effort to understand and cope with the system's problems. The result stage is at period of refreezing, in which new behaviors are tried out on the job and, if successful and reinforcing, become a part of the system's repertoire of problem-solving behavior. Action research is problem-centered, client-centered, and action-oriented. It involves the client system in a diagnostic, active learning, problem-finding and problem-solving process. See also, action learning, action medical research, appreciative inquiry, living educational theory, lesson study, living theory research, praxis intervention, reflective practice, AERA, references. Bibliography. Atkins, Ellen Wallace, Qualitative Research in Education. London, Sage Publications, Limited. Barry, W., http, ISOCOMDocs International Journal of Science 2nd issue. Is Modern American Education Promoting a Sane Society? International Journal of Science, Volume 2, 69-81. Barry, W. J. How can I improve my life-affirming, need-fulfilling, and performance-enhancing capacity to understand and model the meaning of educational quality? Ph.D. Nottingham Trent University. Centre for Collaborative Action Research contains examples of peer-reviewed action research reports and a wiki for supporting those engaged in the process of writing or supporting action research. James, E. Eleanor. Milankiewicz, Margaret T. Bucknam, Alon. Participatory Action Research for Educational Leadership, Using Data-Driven Decision-Making to Improve Schools. Thousand Oaks, Sage, 2007. ISBN 978-1-4129-3777-1, Burns, D. 2007. Systemic Action Research, A Strategy for Whole System Change. Bristol, Policy Press. Davison, R., Martinsons, M., and Koch, N. Principles of Canonical Action Research. Information Systems Journal, 14, 1, 65-86. Novak, S. and Samek, B. The Sage Handbook of Educational Action Research. London, Sage ISBN 978-1-4129-4708-4. Greenwood, D.J. and Levin, M. Introduction to Action Research, Social Research for Social Change, Thousand Oaks, California. Sage Publications, 1998. Greenwood, D.J. and Levin, M. Introduction to Action Research. 2nd edition, Thousand Oaks, California. Sage Publications, 2007. Reason, P. and Bradbury, H. The Sage Handbook of Action Research. Participative Inquiry and Practice. 1st edition. London, Sage, 2001. ISBN 0-7619-6645-5. Reason and Bradbury, Handbook of Action Research, 2nd edition. London, Sage, 2007. ISBN 978-1-4129-2029-2. Sherman and Talbot, Transforming Social Inquiry, Transforming Social Action, New Paradigms for Crossing the Theory-Practice Divide in Universities and Communities. Boston, Kluwer, 2000. Silverman, Robert Mark, Henry L. Taylor, Jr. and Christopher G. Crawford. 2008. OE The Role of Citizen Participation and Action Research Principles in Main Street Revitalization, An Analysis of a Local Planning Project, Action Research 6, 1, 69-93. Stringer, E.T. Action Research. Thousand Oaks, California, Sage Publications. Woodman and Pasmore, Research in Organizational Change and Development Series. Greenwich C.T. G. Press, Addison Wesley Series in Organization Development, Pine, Gerald J. Teacher Action Research, Building Knowledge Democracies, Sage Publications. Scholarly Journals, Action Research International, Educational Action Research, Journal of Applied Behavioral Science, Journal of Organizational Change Management Learning. Philosophical Sources of Action Research, Abram, D. 1996. The Spell of the Sensuous. New York, Vintage. Argery, C. Putnam, R. and Smith, D. 1985. Action Science, Concepts, Methods and Skills for Research and Intervention. San Francisco, Jossey Bus. Gadama, H. 1982. Truth and Method. New York, Crossroad. Habermas, J. 1984-1987. The Theory of Communicative Action, Vol. SIN 2. Boston, Beacon. Howard, pages 2003. Badia, A Subject to Truth. Minneapolis, University of Minnesota Press. Lewin, K. Action Research and Minority Problems. J. Sock. Issues 2, 4, 34-46. Lewin, G. W. Resolving Social Conflicts. New York, New York, Harper and Row. Malin, S. 2001. Nature Loves to Hide, Quantum Physics and the Nature of Reality, A Western Perspective. Oxford, Oxford University Press. McNiff, J. Action Research, Principles and Practice. New York, Routledge. Polanyi, M. 1958. Personal Knowledge. New York, Harper. Singe, pages 1990. The Fifth Discipline. New York, Doubleday Currency. Talbot, W. 1991. The Power of Balance, Transforming Self, Society, and Scientific Inquiry, Vela, F., Thompson, E. and Rishi 1991. The Embodied Mind, Cognitive Science and Human Experience. Cambridge M.A., MIT Press. Whitehead, J. and McNiff, J. Action Research Living Theory, London. Sage. ISBN 978-1-4129-0855-9. Wilbur, K. 1998. The Marriage of Sense and Soul, Integrating Science and Religion. New York, Random House. Exemplars and Methodological Discussions of Action Research, Argery, c. 1970. Intervention Theory and Method. Reading M.A., Addison Wesley. Argery, c. 1980. Inner Contradictions of Rigorous Research. San Diego, California, Academic Press. Argery, c. 1994. Knowledge for Action. San Francisco, California, Jossie Buss. Denscombe M. 2010. Good Research Guide for Small-Scale Social Research Projects. Open University Press. Berkshire, GBR. ISBN 978-0-3352-4138-5, Cameron, K. and Quinn, a 1999. Diagnosing and Changing Organizational Culture. Reading M.A., Addison Wesley. Freeura, pages 1970. Pedagogy of the Oppressed. New York, Herder and Herder. Garreau, J. 2005. Radical Evolution, The Promise and Peril of Enhancing Our Minds, Our Bodies and What It Means to Be Human. New York, Doubleday. Heikkinen, H., Kakori, L. and Hartune, R. 2001. This Is My Truth, Tell Me Yours, Some Aspects of Action Research Quality in the Light of Truth Theories. Educational Action Research 1/2001. http www.informal world comp content equals A739035953, Heron, J. 1996. Cooperative Inquiry, Research into the Human Condition. London, Sage. McNiff, J. and Whitehead, J. All You Need to Know About Action Research, London. Sage. Marcel, G. Existential Background of Human Dignity. Cambridge, Harvard University Press. Ogilvy, J. 2000. Creating Better Futures, Scenario Planning as a Tool for a Better Tomorrow. Oxford, UK, Oxford University Press. Reason, P. and Rowan, J. 1981. Human Inquiry, A Sourcebook of New Paradigm Research. London, Wiley. Reason, pages 1995. Participation in Human Inquiry. London, Sage. Sussman G. I. and Everdar D., 1978. Administrative Science Quarterly, An Assessment of the Scientific Merits of Action Research. Volume 23, No. 4, ppA 582 €603. Sage Publications, Incorporated on behalf of the Johnson Graduate School of Management, Cornell University. http www.jsto.org/2392581, in, E. 1999. Process Consultation Revisited. Reading M.A., Addison Wesley. Singe, P., Sharma, C., Jaworski, J., and Flowers, B. 2004. Presence, Human Purpose and the Field of the Future. Cambridge M.A., Society for Organizational Learning. Talbot, W. and Associates 2004. Action Inquiry, The Secret of Timely and Transforming Leadership. First-Person Research Practice Exemplars, Bateson, M. 1984. With a Daughter Unregistered Trademark S.I., A Memoir of Margaret Mead and Gregory Bateson. New York, Plume Penguin. Rain, Anne 1998. After Silence, Rape and My Journey Back. New York, Crown. Harrison, A 1995. Consultant's Journey. San Francisco, Jossie Buss, Todd Hunter, C. 2001. Undertaking Action Research, Negotiating the Road Ahead, Social Research Update, Issue 34, Autumn. External links, Wikibooks, Contemporary Educational Psychology Chapter 13, The Reflective Practitioner, Interactive Guide on Supporting and Doing Action Research, Share Your Teaching and Learning Strategies with Others. Peer-reviewed definition of action research, Action Research for Everything Encyclopedia, Darnett Wiki, Action Research with Distributed Communities of Practice, Action Research in Science Education, from the Education Resources Information Center Clearinghouse for Science, Mathematics, and Environmental Education, Columbus, Ohio.